Hello audience. How are you? I hope you all are well. Welcome back to another video by Ghostly Gloom. Before we begin, I kindly request you to subscribe to Ghostly Gloom and hit the bell icon to receive more videos from us. After watching the video, please take a moment to like it and comment on how you felt while watching. Now, let's dive into the story.
In the quiet town of Willowbrook, nestled between rolling hills and thick forests, stood Hawthorn Library. A place that held knowledge and stories of generations past. It was the heart of the community. However, beneath its facade of calm and serenity, Hawthorn Library held a dark secret, a mystery that sent shivers down the spines of those who dared to venture within its walls. The library was housed in a grand Victorian mansion, its towering walls adorned with ivy that had been allowed to grow wild and untamed. The interior, with its ornate chandeliers and dark wooden shelves, exuded an air of nostalgia and antiquity. The library's director, an elderly woman named Eleanor, had been its guardian for decades. She was known for her stern demeanor and her strict adherence to the library's rules. The tale of Hawthorn Library's haunting began with the arrival of a curious researcher named Daniel. He had come to Willowbrook in search of obscure books and rare manuscripts, and Hawthorn Library was rumored to hold a treasure trove of such literary gems. Daniel was a skeptic, dismissing the ghost stories that surrounded the library as mere superstition. On his first visit, he was greeted by the imposing figure of Eleanor. She looked at him with piercing blue eyes, her gaze unnerving and unyielding. "You're here to research, she asked, her voice cold and calculating. Daniel nodded, trying to maintain his composure. "Yes, I've heard this library has some unique collections. I'd like to access them, please." Eleanor reluctantly issued him a library card, her bony fingers trembling slightly as she handed it to him. "Follow the rules, young man," she warned. "This place has a history, and you do well not to disturb it." Undeterred, Daniel began his research. Days turned into weeks, and he became absorbed in his work, often staying late into the night. It was during one of these late-night sessions that he first encountered the library's malevolent presence. As he pored over an ancient tome, he heard the faintest whisper, a soft, mournful voice calling his name. Startled, he looked around but found no one. He shrugged it off as exhaustion and continued his reading. But the whispers persisted, growing louder and more insistent with each passing night. Daniel's once keen mind began to fray at the edges as sleep eluded him. Shadows seemed to dance at the periphery of his vision, and the temperature in the library dropped to an icy chill, even in the height of summer. One evening, as he was engrossed in a particularly cryptic text, he felt an icy hand clamp down on his shoulder. He leaped out of his chair, his heart pounding. There, in the dimly lit corner of the library, stood a spectral figure, a woman in a tattered Victorian-era gown, her eyes hollow and filled with a deep sadness. "Who are you?" Daniel stammered, his voice quivering. The ghostly figure pointed a bony finger at a nearby shelf, where a dusty, leather-bound book lay open. It was a diary, and the entry was dated over a century ago. It told the tragic story of a young woman named Isabella, who had died under mysterious circumstances in the very mansion that now housed the library. As Daniel delved deeper into the diary, he uncovered a tale of forbidden love, betrayal, and a promise made on the brink of death. Isabella's spirit seemed to be tethered to the library, bound by the unresolved mysteries of her life and death. Determined to free Isabella's tormented soul, Daniel embarked on a quest to uncover the truth. He researched archives, consulted historical records, and even delved into local folklore. The more he discovered, the clearer the picture became. Isabella had been wronged, and her restless spirit sought justice. As Daniel unearthed long-buried secrets, the library itself seemed to react. Books flew off shelves, lights flickered, and strange symbols appeared on the walls. Eleanor, who had initially been hostile, softened and began to share her own knowledge of the library's history. Together, Daniel and Eleanor pieced together the events that had led to Isabella's tragic demise. They discovered that Isabella's lover had betrayed her, leading to her death by poison. The promise she had made on her deathbed was to return and seek vengeance on her betrayer and his descendants. Armed with this knowledge, Daniel and Eleanor performed a ritual to appease Isabella's spirit and break the curse that bound her to the library. The air grew heavy with tension as they chanted incantations, and a brilliant light filled the room. When the light dissipated, Isabella's ghostly form appeared, no longer filled with sorrow but with a sense of peace. She thanked Daniel and Eleanor and then faded away, her spirit finally free. Hawthorn Library, once plagued by whispers and shadows, returned to its peaceful state. Daniel left Willowbrook, having not only uncovered the library's mysteries but also forged a bond with Eleanor, who passed on the role of guardian to him. The haunted library's dark secret had been revealed and resolved, but the memory of Isabella's tragic tale lingered, a reminder of the enduring power of love and the restless souls that may still haunt the hidden corners of our world.